Have you ever tried to take leftovers and put it in the first container that you find in the cabinet because you don't feel like digging for another one? What happens? You can keep trying to push, maneuver, put the lid on, lean on it a little bit, and it still might not work because it didn't belong in that container. And that's exactly what your gifts are doing.
Wake up, it's time to activate. Wake up, it's time to activate. You know there is more that God has in store. You've been so used to hiding and used to inviting the fear, guilt, and doubting that keeps you from thriving. But wake up, it's time to activate. Wake up, it's time to activate it. Activate your destiny. Time to activate it.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Activate Your Destiny podcast. I'm your host, Destiny Faith McCoy, and I'm so excited because we have entered the month of June. Can y'all believe that we have already completed half of the year? Like, that is wild to me. But this month, we are going to talk about creativity, what it's like being a creative mom, what different ways it shows up in our day-to-day life, and how we can possibly start to view them as gifts instead of things that we hide and shrink behind. So for me personally, I am what you would call a multifaceted creative. There are a lot of different things that I am blessed to be able to do, or at least figure out. And I've known this since I was little, but I didn't really have the words for it. So for example, I've been in my church's choir since I was 4 years old. Being able to keep a tune can be considered a gift. Being able to sing is a gift. Being able to dance can be a gift because it's something that not everybody is able to do. Now, if you did not attend my church, you probably didn't know that I could sing unless there was some music class that I was forced to show that gift in. You had no idea because I had forced it into a container. I decided to shrink instead of embracing the different aspects of me that made me special. There were parts of my creativity that I only maintained as necessity. I have to be on the choir at church, and I have to sing at all the family functions, and we have to do the two-step at the cookout. But outside of that, I found it easier. I found it easier to hide those specific gifts. Not only was I hiding them, I was compartmentalizing them. Like I'm only going to do these particular gifts in these particular areas. I'm only going to sing in church. I'm only going to dance in my dance class in high school. I'm only going to put them all together at the family function. But anything outside of that meant I wasn't going to share that gift with anybody. It's so funny that my husband didn't know that I could sing until he attended my church one day before we got married. And I just happened to have to sing a solo that Sunday, and he had no idea. Other than me humming here and there in the car, he had no idea. That's how much of a container I was keeping that gift in. Now, if this sounds like you and you have specific gifts that you only allow certain people to see, I want you to put a hands up emoji in the comments. I see you, I hear you, I am you. So not only was I saving some of my gifts and putting them in containers, I was shrinking others so that everybody else would feel more comfortable to be around me. It was interesting because as I grew up, I would start to hear people, friends, different family members, people that I would meet, and they would find out that I could do multiple things, and they would go, "Well, what can't you do?" And again, I didn't really know how to receive that. So I just stopped telling people what I could do. I decided to hide, to shrink, to make everyone else feel more comfortable because it wasn't always a compliment. Sometimes it would come off like, "Oh my gosh, like God has really blessed you with a lot of gifts." And then other times it was definitely the head jerking, "Oh, what can't you do?" You know what I mean? Those people were ringing louder in my head at the time. And I believe that we've all had to experience that in one way or another. But fast forward to last year, actually, as I have begun to blossom as a woman, as a homeschool mom, as an entrepreneur, I started digging a little bit deeper into, like, God, what else have you given me and how do you want me to use these particular gifts? And I remember my husband and I talking about my youngest daughter's birthday, which I've mentioned before in another episode. And we were trying to figure out, like, what should we do for her birthday? Um, Something that's not going to be an insane amount of money, because at least here in Maryland, birthday parties cost a lot when you have them other places. So we agreed that we were going to do something here. We both have really large, loving families. So anything that we do here is going to be a good amount of people that are attending. So I took it upon myself to figure out, what are we going to do for this girl's birthday? How am I going to make it so special that she doesn't realize, the budget that we're trying to fit it in? She's not going to realize the time that I'm trying to throw this together. I wanted it to just be a special day for her. Hey, before we get any further into today's episode, I want to make sure that you know where to go if what you are hearing is already speaking to something within you. I created a Start Here page specifically for the mom who knows that she is ready for the next step, but is not sure what that step looks like just yet. Whether you are looking for community and coaching, or you want to bring this experience to your women's group or organization, it is all there waiting for you. Go to the link in the description and start where you are, not where you think you should be, where you are. I will see you there. So I remember sitting in my room one evening and I'm like, what is she like? And I'm like, okay, she likes doing hair right now. She likes fashion. She likes cooking. Light bulb. She likes cooking. She loves watching cooking shows. We watch cooking shows as a family all the time. What if I give her a birthday party based off of her love for cooking? Then I'm thinking, okay, what shows do we watch? Like, this is literally how my brain works. And I'm talking it through so that you guys can get a real life example of it. But another part of how my specific brain works is this conversation happened within like 30 seconds within my head. It didn't take long at all. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, what shows do we watch? We watch Chopped. You know how they always have to, or MasterChef Junior. They always have to present something to them. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it would be a really cool activity if we decorate, say, I don't know, cupcakes. And each child, I make it out of like a episode of Chopped, or a baking championship, or any of the variations of the shows that we watch. So now my wheels are turning, right? I'm like, okay, ooh, now let's do, they got to have an award, because it's not the real show. So I'm not giving away $10,000. I should go on Canva and make them awards. And of course, because I'm Destiny and I used to call myself extra for these types of details, and now I understand that it just makes me creative. Now, okay, I don't want to just hand them an award. I want them to feel special. I'm going to come up with an award that fits each individual child, because I know them all personally, and each individual adult that I know is going to participate, because this is just going to be so much fun. They're going to participate, and did. We're going to do all these things. Then I'm like, I don't want to just hand them a piece of paper. I want it rolled up like a diploma, and then I'm going to get some ribbon and I'm going to tie it around them. Y'all, just a fraction of what that party ended up being. But I'm using this as an example to show how quickly the creative mind frame came into play with me just being a mom in motherhood. But let's transfer that into how it shows up in my business. So as an entrepreneur, as a life coach and identity coach, as someone who works with moms, I've also learned, especially using Kate's birthday as an example, that I genuinely love putting events together. I've done it for the kids. I've done it for family. I've done it for the homeschool group. I've done it and I enjoyed it. So maybe I should throw together an event for the moms. Hence, Mom School Live. So now my creativity doesn't just end at my children. It doesn't just end in the container that I put it in. Now I'm saying, God, how do I use what's already in my hands to do what you have called me to do? And what you've called me to do is to support moms, to encourage moms, to activate moms to doing what you have called them to do. What better ways to do that than to get us all in the room? So now I'm planning Mom School Live, and I am the brain behind all of it, the creative genius, so to speak, behind all of it. But it took me really embracing what I know I already have in my hands. And in my hands, I have creativity. So, what I want us to do really quickly is look up the definition of a creative. And that means I got to grab my laptop. Creativity is the cognitive and behavioral process of generating original, imaginative, and valuable ideas, solutions, or objects. It goes beyond traditional problem solving by combining existing concepts in novel ways, disrupting established habits, and producing something entirely new. Yeah. Using myself as an example, that is verbatim what I do. With each Mom School Live event, with each birthday party, with each thing that I put together that I put my hands on, my goal is to not only honor God, to make sure it is in alignment with my assignment, but I also don't want it to look like everybody else's. I don't. If that's the case, I would have gone to TikTok and said, give me suggestions for 8th birthday parties. And I didn't. I literally would not look on TikTok until after I had already created the idea. Because now, again, I'm embracing what he has already put within my hand. Notice this. The moment that I stopped trying to fit my gift into a container was the moment that it became something that served other people, served my children, served the attendees of said birthday parties who are still talking about it to this day. It served my clients, the way that we operate in Mom School. It serves so many different containers of people with all the same gift. So, what happens when you stop trying to fit a gift into the container that it wasn't made for? What happens is it starts to flow in purpose. We use these words, purpose and assignment, we use them so often that they're starting to lose the weight. But in this moment, I mean, when you stop trying to fit your gift into a box, you are giving God the ability to disperse it out into the world. You are giving him permission to use you to reach whoever you were supposed to be talking to anyway. And sometimes we think that that looks like we're on the stage and speaking to millions of people, but sometimes that gift could be for your family. Sometimes acknowledging that gift means that you realize that is how you were going to get your kids to do the chores. Sometimes you realize that's how you're going to create date nights for you and your husband. Sometimes you can realize that that is how you can bless somebody in the store who you see walking around maybe with paint swatches in Home Depot, and you can see that her wheels are turning, and maybe she just needed a little suggestion. But because you have embraced the fact that you're naturally creative, you can now talk to her, and who knows, that might build a budding friendship. You never know what God is able to do once you stop suppressing the gifts that he has put within you. For me, my creativity literally felt like it was boiling over. That night where God reminded me that I stopped doing the things that I wanted to do and that was pouring back into me, they were all creative ways that I showed up for myself. Doing my makeup, putting on a cute yet comfortable outfit, taking care of the home and making our house feel like a home. All of these things were ways that I used my creativity and just stopped because I had children. Now the weight of this gift is sitting in me, feeling like it's going to explode if I don't do something about it. And see, when God gives you a specific assignment, something that you're supposed to do in addition to bringing disciples, when he gives you something specific and you just keep suppressing it and pushing it further and further down, it's going to make you feel uncomfortable. It's going to make you feel like something in your life is missing until you do it. I have been trying to stuff my gifts into a container and they just wouldn't fit anymore. Have you ever tried to take leftovers and put it in the first container that you find in the cabinet because you don't feel like digging for another one? What happens? You can keep trying to push, maneuver, put the lid on, lean on it a little bit, and it still might not work because it didn't belong in that container. And that's exactly what your gifts are doing. You're just trying to maneuver. Oh, I'll fit this right here. And, maybe I'll allow this piece to come out because somebody asked me to do this particular thing, but I'm not going to just open it because what's going to happen if it explodes? What's going to happen is you'll have peace. You'll be happy. You'll find joy because you're finally doing what you were supposed to be doing. You'll finally understand how this is supposed to be incorporated in your household to make things better. You'll finally understand why certain things in life bother you so much because you're the one that's supposed to do something about it in the way that He has created you. Our gifts no longer belong in containers. They just don't. They don't belong in Tupperware containers. Mine don't, and neither do yours. If this episode is hitting you, if I have made you feel some type of way, because I'm telling the truth, I'm inviting you to join us in the Wake Up Creative Challenge. This challenge happens at the end of the month, but all month long, we are coming together as a community of creatives, of creative moms who know that there is something there, who know that there is a creative gift within her. She might be trying to hide it. She might be trying to finally let loose a little bit. She might not even realize that it's there. But all three versions of that woman are invited to the Wake Up Creative Challenge. Do not hesitate. The world cannot wait any longer for your gift. It just can't. Click the link in the description and come do the work with us. As always, thank you for watching this episode. Subscribe. Make sure you send it to a friend who you also know is a creative mom. And I will see you guys next week. And remember, the calling on your life is not canceled. It is just waiting on your obedience.